everyone, and welcome to the Sheraton Caregivers YouTube channel. My name's Alex McDaniel. I'm your activity coordinator and also the host of our Sheraton Caregiver YouTube channel. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Jessica McNeil. She's one of our caregivers. And we're just going to talk a little bit today about sort of the daily interactions that you have with our clients and just have a really nice time getting to know one of our awesome and very skilled caregivers. So, Jessica, we talked a little bit earlier about what got you interested in becoming a caregiver, and that was your grandma. So, can you tell me a little bit about your grandma and how you decided to become a caregiver, sort of because of her?
Um, so she raised us, and I was the last one that was still staying there. So as she got older, she got sick. So we had to call in an aide to come and help out. So while the aide was there, I was like learning different things and stuff too. So that's what made me wanted to get into it.
Wonderful. And you are a certified nursing assistant, right? A CNA.
Yes.
And I know that you filled out our job application and then got hired. And I have had the pleasure of seeing Jessica in action. And what I want to know, Jessica, is what is your favorite part about being a caregiver?
Entertaining.
And yes. One of the things that I really want to focus on today is how having a positive attitude really does make a huge difference in the lives of our clients and their family members. And you mentioned entertaining. Right now, you're working with a client who has a heavy interest in baseball. So, what is one of the things you like to say to your client on a regular basis to sort of perk him up with the baseball facts?
So we watch highlights. I ain't reading no facts. So we will go to YouTube and put the highlights on and be like, "Here you go, homie."
Wonderful.
I ain't reading. I ain't reading that.
What's some of the advice that you could give as a caregiver when it comes to working with the families?
Don't overstep. Be there and just be aware, but don't overstep. Don't insert yourself into their problems because you're not there for that. You're there for the client. And if they have any questions, and if you can't answer them, then call the nurse. But just back away when they're there.
Yeah, giving one of the things about being a caregiver and one of the challenges that you're constantly sort of towing is that you're in these people's homes. And so you're trying to be there as a caregiver while still respecting their space and things like that. A large population of people that we work with have memory care issues. And what are some of the objects that you can have around as a caregiver or that the family can provide for you that sort of helps you engage with the client that you're working with?
So he has a lot of baseball books. And then me and one of the other caregivers, we get like baseball puzzles and stuff for him off Amazon. Me and Amazon best friends. And I just recently got him like this baseball light. It's like a night light. So like anything baseball. And then sometimes like the photo album books, it will help too for memory loss. You could be like, hey, who's this? Do you remember this? Do you remember this location? Like even though he really can't talk, but in his mind, yeah. Some of his answers be on point sometimes though.
And I was actually about to bring up one of the reasons that we're interviewing Jessica is because you are so good at seeing the clients that you work with as the person who they are first, before dementia or a stroke victim or anything like that. You see them as a person first. And I am very honored to see that you talk to people in that manner. And it's just one of the things that I think sets Sheraton apart. So thank you very much for doing that. But you mentioned things like photo albums and, having a healthy relationship with the family. Jessica's very familiar with our art therapist, Sophie. One of the things that we do is we encourage making a life map, right? Is that what we call it? Story map. And I like what Jessica did with it because, we kind of we were like, oh, here's the way to do the story map. But Jessica kind of took it on her own and was like, well, this is the way that my client would definitely connect to it better. And it's turned into like these really beautiful different art pieces and stuff. But it's great because it works for that family member because you have the insight for it. One of the things I like to ask people is what their favorite hobby is and how they share that with the clients that they work with.
Oh, I like singing, even though I ain't a good singer. But me and YouTube, we be best friends.
Yeah.
We best
And
friends.
you had mentioned before that you like basketball.
Oh yeah,
So even though your client likes baseball and it's not the same, and you know basketball is better,
it is
just in our opinions,
entertaining.
more entertaining. But you talk about the things that you like and you enjoy, and that engages someone even when they're nonverbal. Um, so let's see, what else can we talk about caregiving? Here's a good one: caregiver burnout. What that is something that's very real. We face it, whether you work with the senior population or whether you work just as a caregiver in general. What's something that you do personally to help combat that caregiver burnout?
So when I lay him down for his morning nap, I take out my Bible. I just read my Bible.
Mm-hmm.
That was my New Year's resolution for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, I didn't finish it, so just rolled over to 2025. And it's more understanding. Like I've been going to church all my life, but Bible reading the Bible is all connecting more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I understand more now, and I'm older.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And you mentioned too that when you're on your way into work, you usually like to listen to different kind of music depending on how you're feeling, and that sets you up for a successful day.
mm-hmm.
And I think you mentioned this to me earlier, that if you're having an issue with care or something, you reach out to our nurses on call or whomever, a field supervisor, just to like get more opinions
Mm-hmm.
on it. And I really appreciate that creativity.
Gotta be.
That's great. Is there anything else that you would like to share that you've learned as a caregiver over the years that you think would be helpful for someone who is going through a situation where they're having someone who needs to get care, or someone is considering becoming a caregiver themselves? Is there any advice that you could give them?
Don't be afraid to ask for help, because you can't do it all by yourself. And that's up to this day. Like I still try to be Miss Do It All, but
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask for help sometimes.
Yes.
Don't ever be afraid. And people that want to get into it, don't get into caregiving knowing that you think you know everything, because you still learn something every day. I've been doing caregiving for X amount of years and I still learn something new every day. I don't have that mindset like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Oh, it goes like this. No, because everybody works different.
Yes.
And it's better off, okay, if you got a team, okay, maybe I could tell this to this person, maybe they will try it. If they don't like it, then they don't like it. It's you have to feed off each other.
That's a really good point you make, especially since a lot of our caregivers, it's not just one caregiver going into a home, it's multiple. So having that communication is so critical. Jessica, thank you so much for your time today. And, I look forward to continuing to hear all of the fun adventures that you have with your various different clients. And everyone, thank you for taking the time to listen to our YouTube video today. And please be sure to like and subscribe. Check out some of the resources that we're going to post in the link below about caregiving in general. Thanks, everyone.